Okay, this is from Adrian. Okay, Niamh, I guess this is the one you wanted.
Is it?
Yeah, I notice a recurring theme on the podcast that all of you have a weird hate boner for quips and Joss Whedon.
We've never said anything about quips or Joss Whedon.
And I'm just wondering if you could explain this hatred for me. I'm not defending Joss or quips or telling you that you're wrong. I just noticed that those things keep on bringing up in the podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
He just wants to know.
Yeah.
Okay, how did we all individually come to despise Joss Whedon?
I just think our sense of humor doesn't click with his.
Oh no, I just fucking hate him.
That too, as well, I guess.
That as well.
I don't hate him, but I've gotten more annoyed with his face over the years.
So for me, the first Avengers movie was maybe the worst cinematic experience I've ever had in my life. Because I'd heard all these stories that, hey, there was this new Marvel movie, it was Avengers, had all the superheroes in it, it's fucking amazing. I remember we went for a burger with our friend Johnsy, and Johnsy was saying how people are got 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, how Hulk totally steals the show, all this stuff. I went with a group of people from work, I sat there, I hated it. I hated the fucking weird, whimsical tone, I hated fucking Scarlet Witch's weird vagina karate.
Oh, Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. You know when women have that in they don't fight special agents or people who actually know how to fight. They do all this fucking weird hip and leg shit.
She's using his sexuality.
It's the most powerful weapon a woman had, and I hate and just
Yeah, she's voguing while she fights.
Yeah, there was a mathematical timing to the jokes. So it would be serious line, joke, serious line, joke. And by the end of the film, I could predict when every joke was going to happen, and they were terrible. And I despise that movie. But the worst part was when I came out of it, and everyone was like, that was pretty good. And it was like one of those nightmare scenes from early Simpsons when the visuals get all fucked up, and I was like, what's happened? No. And then people was like, yeah, apparently they're gonna make a cinematic universe. And I was like, no, what? And that hellscape became real, and now everyone thinks Joss Whedon has tricked everyone into thinking the Avengers is really good. And look, I'm partial to the odd Marvel movie. Guardians of the Galaxy was alright. Thor Ragnarok's pretty good. Haven't seen anything else except movies I hated. But I just feel like his brand of humor has infected pop culture. And what's worse than Joss Whedon humor is fucking people trying Joss Whedon humor and failing. And I've seen a lot of TV shows like that. Mm-hmm. The Good Place is like that. And
no, it's not. You said The Good Place is like that, and it's not. It's so not.
It so is. And that is why I hate Joss Whedon. You
guys are a bunch of cats.
It was the worst experience I've ever had in a cinema, and it lasted so long that I'm still living in it.
What you said about how he tricks people into thinking his stuff is good, that's why I hate Joss Whedon the most, is people talk about Joss Whedon as if he's good, and especially that he's a good feminist director, and that thing drives me nuts. He's written the most just shitty female characters, or at least put good female characters in shitty situations, rapey situations where two girls meet each other and they're constantly fighting. I used to love Joss Whedon because I was a major Buffy fan.
But you pointed out to me before the podcast, a lot of the best episodes of Buffy he did not write or direct.
Yeah, well, some of the ones I think are pretty good. But even if he's 100% wholly responsible for that, and I don't think he is, just all of these little things that you notice throughout his work does not make a portrait of someone who actually can write women well. He just can't. And for some reason, just because he has female characters, people really think he's good at it. The quippy stuff, I hate the most. I love character dialogue. People don't talk in quips.
I feel like that stuff was passable in Buffy because he hadn't honed it down to this weird science, and also they were dumb teenagers. So I could kind of buy it.
And I think there was people in Buffy like who wouldn't quip. There was the quippers for sure, and like even people had their own style of quips. Like Buffy's humor was different than Xander's or whatever.
Everyone talks like Xander now.
Yeah,
Iron Man talks like Xander.
That's the thing. It's like everyone is talking in the same way, and it is like, as you said, boiled down to a science. You know when it's going to happen, and then it's the case where characters aren't saying anything. They're not speaking to each other. They're not human. Like even if you know a person who quips, they do it sometimes, and it's that one guy who quips, you know? People don't speak that way. And you're giving me an opportunity to know all these superheroes and these characters, and you're gonna make them converse in quips. And I hate it. It's just... I remember reading the X-Men run he did, and I opened the first page, and it's Kitty Pryde accidentally morphing onto a stage with a whole big crowd there. And she just says a stupid, annoying quip, and I was like, fucking hate this. Like I just hated it instantly. There's many reasons. The whole stuff with his wife as well.
I think like one of the reasons I liked Thor Ragnarok so much is because I felt like the Whedonism had been completely removed from a superhero movie, and that felt great. Like even fucking, now DC has got him on board to do. I bet he's added some real zingers into Justice League.
Yeah.
It's like when I hear he's directing something, I instantly lose interest because I know it's never going to be about a bigger picture.
And it'll also be in development hell for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it might not it might not ever happen. Like fucking Wonder Woman was 20 years in development, and I'd say some of it was creative bottlenecking from him.
Yeah, and his script was just garbage. Yeah. It's out there on the internet.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
He's a
like
speed
if
bump.
people are super into Joss Whedon, I wouldn't like think less of the people
I
or
would.
anything.
100%.
No, you can't
like,
say
just
that.
like you're wrong. Joss Whedon's bad.
They just enjoy a lesser form of look. It doesn't matter.
You think you like Joss Whedon, you don't. You like the characters.
God damn it, Neve.
Okay, Neve, can you read this one because I'm going to eat a biscuit?